worry that politicians and world leaders are not feeling the weight of your obsessing over their news stories and tweeting at them? Or are you concerned that while you're seeking personal happiness, that you're not stuck in this doomy vortex?
Why isn't my senator personally subscribing to my Twitter feed and responding to my great ideas? Yeah, no, because that's not what's happening. And even though, there's so many ways to elevate and make visible things that need to be elevated and make visible and people need to be aware of, to weigh in on stuff so that people that are marginalized and oppressed, so that we're not silent about that we're not alone. But the temptation to feel that you've really accomplished something just by posting an angry tweet, that's an overwhelming temptation. So I do catch myself saying, like, you know what, maybe instead of being quiet about this, I should just donate some money to people that are actually in a position to put in policy changes, to affect change, to do something positive and to leverage, communal power. And me just tweeting something angry is not really contributing to that. And that's another thing I've learned. It's like, it feels like, like I have to tweet angrily at somebody. Otherwise, I'm not participating as a citizen. And there's probably better ways to participate as a citizen than just angry tweets.
There have been tweets that made me chuckle, some tweets that made me think a little bit, but there's never been a tweet I read that, like, oh my God, let me throw out my entire ideology and think all new thoughts because of what I just read here in this tweet.
I've never read a tweet that instantly did that. I have read tweets that made me like, oh, that's something I hadn't thought of before, or that's an issue or a problem that somebody who's not like me has that I wasn't aware of. And it's just, there's so much garbage out there. It's difficult to find the stuff that's valuable. And I wish we could kind of switch that ratio so that social media was actually useful and as powerful as it should be. I mean, right now, like, I'm finding out on social media about every librarian, school district, state where book bannings are taking place. And that's something that I feel as a writer, I need to know about. It concerns me. It affects me, like, not necessarily directly, because I'm not concerned like, oh no, I'm not selling my book in Sarasota, Florida, but I'm concerned that, like, oh, there's kids that are not having access to books in Sarasota, Florida, because their school district basically said teachers and librarians can't buy new books, can't have books donated, can't participate in scholastic book fairs. And that's something I found out about social media, and that's something that I wanted to be aware of. I don't need to read 1,000 tweets reacting to it. That to me is not healthy, but knowing about what's happening, to me, that's healthy and useful. So there's a little bit of necessity, I feel, in staying engaged with the world, and social media is one way to do that. But it takes, again, it takes an active will to do it so that it's productive and useful and not a waste of time and not damaging to me or other people. Yeah.
Well, when you read about something like that is in your wheelhouse. You're an author. You're reading about banned books. Those are librarians, some of whom you're going to have a relationship with, or you might have seen at some point or another. How can you be activated? How can other authors who are listening to us be activated when you see that book bannings are going on?
Well, one thing is I like to find out who are the activists locally that are doing something about it. There might be groups organizing to donate books, to make books accessible to people. There's money you can give them. I mean, I've offered to send to anybody who contacts me in Sarasota, Florida. I've offered free copies of my books that maybe they could put in a little free library or give directly to a kid, and that's a small thing. The main thing we have to do, every one of us has to do, and I'm not a social activist. I'm not an expert in politics or even an expert in freedom of speech. We need to participate in our local communities and voting for people that aren't going to do the horrific things that they do. City council members, school board members, people that are going to protect the rights of kids to read books. There's always local elections going on. As outsiders, we can always still donate to those campaigns. But yeah, and then sometimes it does feel helpless. There's like, what can I do for people in Sarasota, Florida, which is literally on the other side of the country from me? What can I as an author do? It's a gesture just to tell people this is happening. If you're not aware of, you should be aware of it, to offer to donate books. And then do some research and find out who in Sarasota, Florida is combating that, who in other communities are combating book banning, and see what they want us to do. You know, take the lead from the people on the ground actually fighting this battle in that community.